We would like you to meet Mrs. Hawthorne, a 40-year-old woman residing in northeastern Wisconsin. It may not be noticeable at first glance, nor at all at times of the day, but Mrs. Hawthorne is a constant battle with disease that affects hundreds of thousands of people in the U.S. alone. Mrs. Hawthorne was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 18 years ago. Multiple sclerosis has many symptoms, but is often visually characterized by tremors in the hands, cramping, involuntary movements, muscular rigidity, slurred speech, loss of balance, and in more severe cases, paralysis.
Today we investigate fully what multiple sclerosis is, how it affects the body, how it affects society, and whether or not we can do anything to stop it. I'm your host, David Attenborough, with Pathophysiology America.
To put it simply, multiple sclerosis is a disease in which the nerves in the brain and in the spinal cord become damaged, more specifically the fatty nerve coverings. This leads to the disruption of how nerves send signals to various parts of the body. The biological mechanisms of this disease can be better explained by Dr. McGillicuddy, the leading researcher on multiple sclerosis at the Daniel Cannon Clinic for Chronic Disease.
Our nerves are covered by a protective sheath we call myelin. Myelin are made of lipids and proteins. It is the insulation of our nervous system and aids in nerve conduction. Multiple sclerosis is strongly believed to be an autoimmune disease by most all medical professionals who have studied it. Our immune system, which is the body's natural response to foreign pathogens, begin to degrade this myelin sheet, primarily the covering of the white matter of the brain and the spinal cord. But it can damage the myelin sheet of the gray matter as well. This unfortunately can lead to the death of the nerve cells.
Mrs. Hawthorne has suffered many of the common symptoms of multiple sclerosis: loss of sensation in the fingers, vision and color distortion, muscle weakness throughout the body, loss of coordination, severe constipation, sensations of pins and needles, vertigo, severe nausea leading to vomiting fits, incontinence, loss of vision in the right eye, and complete loss of balance. With so many suffering from multiple sclerosis like Mrs. Hawthorne, we take a trip to the CDC to find out just how it impacts the current public health situation in America.
We estimate over 400,000 people in the U.S. are diagnosed with MS, with 200 new cases being diagnosed each week. Annually, the cost for medical care with someone diagnosed with MS is around $69,000 on average. This comes out to roughly $28 billion annually for the total amount spent for those with multiple sclerosis. Even those diagnosed with MS that do have health insurance, out-of-pocket costs come out to roughly $2,000 per year. Because medical group costs are so great, much of the home care that those diagnosed with MS receive is from unpaid family members, and in many cases, these family members are under the age of 18.
Upon hearing the effects of this devastating disease, many would ask who is at risk for multiple sclerosis. It turns out those residing in temperate climates are slightly higher risk for being at risk for multiple sclerosis, and those who currently suffer from thyroid disease, diabetes mellitus, inflammatory bowel disease, and those that smoke regularly are even at higher risk. To make matters worse, multiple sclerosis is also known to bring about comorbidities. For many with multiple sclerosis, they can develop total paralysis and even complete blindness. Dealing with this disease and some of the medications taken can result in depression. Sarcopenia is also a factor, a result of insufficient muscular stimulus. To mitigate these risks, Mrs. Hawthorne exercises regularly with an exercise physiologist to keep her spirits high and her at her top potential fitness level.
We certainly want to gear the exercise prescription to the individual. MS patients have varying levels of degeneration. For Ms. Hawthorne, we have 3 30-minute cardio sessions per week to keep her aerobic fitness level up, as patients with MS usually become increasingly sedentary. We also have 2 resistance training sessions and 2 balance training sessions planned for each week as well, each consisting of about 30 to 45 minutes. Resistance training and balance training has been shown to regulate nervous system function, increase motor unit activation, and of course improve physical strength, which is always a benefit. At the end of the training session, we conduct 30 to 45 minutes of deep stretching, both active and passive, which has been shown to mitigate the degeneration of the CNS in MS patients.
Although there are many struggles ahead for Mrs. Hawthorne because of her multiple sclerosis, she faces every day with optimism and the will to live a healthy life. This is Pathophysiology America.
Thank you for watching our multiple sclerosis Danx video.